Today we're gonna make Penjing, or Chinese landscape. This particular one I'm gonna make is called Sansui Penjing, which means mountain and water landscape. And that's a big marble tray. That's about 1 meter, and I've just handpicked all the rocks here. And so I found the main feature rock, and that from there we're gonna build it like a jigsaw puzzle. And these are all the smaller pieces. Don't look at these tiny weeny ones about 1 centimeter as nothing. They're very vital and crucial to the final formation of the setting. So here are the rocks, and we're gonna start putting this jigsaw puzzle together. Basically, the first thing you do is, once I pick the rocks, I already know what the final outcome of the whole thing will be. So the first thing I do is to plant that first piece of rock. Of course, this is in position, but we're going to adjust it as we go along. So basically, looking at all the rocks I had. So now from these, it's a very narrow rod. So we're going to build, rod doesn't sometimes, there are rods that stands like that, but we're going to make it in such a way that, to have a more stable base. So basically, it's a lot of rocks that I've got to come in, fix it out. These rods are all cut flat. They're all been cut flat. Okay, so now we're going to build the shoreline from there. See, this is slack in there and it's narrow, so we're going to hide that. So what we do is we're going to put a piece of rock there in such a way that actually fit in there. So that's why you got to pick the rocks and everything that you want. And so we've got to build the base. See how it's just coming out. And we've got to create a contour where there's grooves
and inlets.
Inlets and all that sort of thing. And shorelines. This little piece here just creates shorelines. Can we hide it that way? Which way is better? No, this way is better. So see how the base is being built, and see how we get a jagged shoreline being created. No, these could be extra rocks. Okay, now we're going to build the shoreline. So you create depth, the depth and the width and all that sort of thing. Like that's coming in, this is going to be a bay area because rocks hanging, how you can see natural formation. It's what we copy in nature. See how the formation of that bay is coming in. An enclosed area, and this is usually a very peaceful area, but not really, because this current comes in and they create that, and wave hit that and create that sort of a formation. So we see how we created sort of a big base structure of that whole thing. I don't quite really like this here. Is this better? No, this one's better. See, this is what jigsaw puzzling is all about. You create that. See how now the base is settled down? But we're not finished yet, because we have to create all the other formations going through, because it comes in this way, wave motion comes in this way. So basically we're going to create something like this. This is the most awkward part of the whole thing. You really have to build these out. Little pieces of rocks to build that. Sometimes certain parts is a lot easier. You got to use your imaginations. You got to create. You got to create. Sometimes, you know, it looks like this way is all right, but when you look at that, really, it's just see how this is. How do you call that? And that is not sort of synchronized in such a way, because the formation is, you do have to, so the rocks got to be placed in a different direction. But to create, I haven't finished this one yet because it's in an awkward position, but I just try to position where all the rocks should go and create it sort of so now I've created that part, but now there is a distance. To create distance, you need another thing there. So I'm gonna find a bigger rock, something like this will do it, I think. Just in that position. See, straight away now you see a distance, right? And then you got the base here is not finished. This is not finished. So this one is just hassling me. It upsets me when things like that not done properly. See how jigsaw puzzles are done? Okay, we got to create a shoreline on this. So see how that shoreline is being created there? And this is just two whatever. So we're going to create another sort of a bay here and a bay there. Now I think this is the angle. The angle is quite important in the placements of things. Sometimes when you got that, it doesn't fit in because of these little jaggedness, and it doesn't fit in completely. So you might have to break it in such a way to make sure they fit in. See how that shoreline is just being created with these tiny, twinny little pieces of rock? See how that jaggedness is coming in? It looks really, really easy if you have a bit of imagination. I'm not saying that nobody's got imagination, but sometimes you just have to imagine, you know, things like this. So this is a placement. What can we do with this? Nothing yet. What can we do with this? Don't know. We might see whether it'll fit in there somewhere. Yeah, it does fit in there somewhere in the shoreline. So okay, now we got the main rock. I'm not happy here. We're going to do something because the coastline is not finished. This coastline looks coastline looks quite good, but I'm still not happy with these little sections here. Maybe that little piece will do it, but this little piece has got no character in there, so no, we don't use that. Maybe we just stick it with here. No, we'll find something. Okay, now see how it's tall, distant, lower, to show that that's the way it goes. But islands usually don't stop straight away, right? It does. So what we need to do is we're going to make sure that there is something here to taper off that formation. So basically I cut pieces like this, very, very thin. That's only 1 millimeter, and this side is about 3. So Reason being, when you cut something, you got to know that the shoreline tapers down into the water, so it's higher out. So you can't have everything thicker on this side, shallower on that side. So basically, to get that effect, see how that tapers off this way, and then you've got to build another rock on top of that, and you wouldn't even see how it tapers off with that rock there. See how now the formation is taking shape that way. But again, as I said, the shorelines, I'm not happy with that. I've got to fix that. And this is very, very empty, and it's kind of hard. Got a lot of rocks like these pieces of it. Okay. Now to do that, what do we do? Oh. Now, the formation is correct, but this is getting very, very close to the front. We need a bit of room. So basically I have to move that main rock a little bit back to give room for that. High, shallow, going down. Okay. Again, this is big space. We don't want that. We got to do something about it. So we create that. That looks better. Well, it's supposed to be, close. I kind of like it this way. Okay. And still, I've got a lot of pieces here which I can use, but I haven't used it yet. This is fine here now. All this is fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I know that that's a bit of a problem there.